Trichologist Lisa Akbari, your hair guru. And today I just want to basically, I think I've answered all the questions, but I wanted to just kind of bring some questions from my email box. As you know, I service a lot of individuals and I really have a ton of questions. And so I have a lot of clients, lots, thousands of clients. And so I wanted to start with just answering some of the questions. Now, one of the things, and also I want to talk about some of the things that are going to be important to you because this not just answering questions but also giving you more education on your hair and scalp. So let's start with the scalp, which is the foundation. The scalp is the foundation. The skin, the hair is an appendage of the scalp, and scalp is really a organ. I mean, I know we don't think about it as an organ, but it's one of the largest organs. It goes from our head to our feet. So it's scalp is skin. And so, what I want you to understand now, scalp doesn't go from our head to our feet, but the skin goes from our head to our feet. Okay, get it together, Lisa. Okay, so with that being said, I want to talk about the scalp, which is the foundation to healthy hair growth. It's really crucial for you to understand that if you do not have a healthy scalp, you will not have healthy hair growth. And let me explain. Well, number one, you have to make sure that you create an environment for your scalp to be able to release that hair. Okay. Now, you definitely have to have a follicle, but you also have to, on the surface of the scalp, you have to have an environment. So you have to create a clean, acidic, stimulated, hydrated environment so that your scalp will be able to be free. The mouth of the follicle is really the most important as it relates to allowing that hair, healthy hair, obtaining length and that hair actually emerging from the scalp. So, with all that, you have to create a clean, acidic, stimulated, hydrated environment. You also have to make sure that on your hair strand, you have a balance of protein and moisture. As I've said in the past sessions, these are delicate protein and moisture level within the strand that must stay balanced. Protein for strength, moisture for hydration or to keep it nice and soft. And protein here is mostly composed of protein. It's a protein called keratin. So you don't have to worry about the hair having enough protein, or even of, I've heard someone say, oh, I'm protein sensitive. You're not protein sensitive unless you have a rash, red, fine red bumps. Now, if in that case, you may be, but most people are not protein sensitive. It's just that they use too much protein or protein only, and then their hair tends to dry out. So be careful to make sure that you do not use so much protein that your hair dries out. Okay? All right. So now you also, let's talk about the scalp again. That clean. So you want to shampoo inside of 7 days, and if you have problems, you may have to shampoo sooner. And we'll talk about that in a minute. Then you want an acidic. Our hair and scalp is our hair gives the pH comes from the scalp. So our scalp is about 4.5 to 5.5, in pH. So it's more acidic in reaction. Now that comes from something called the acid mantle, and that acid mantle is something that is oozing into the sweat glands from the sweat glands or and the sebaceous glands. And that gives the surface of the skin a pH. That surface of the skin gives the hair a pH. So you always, whatever you clean with, you always want to clean with a shampoo that has the pH between 4.5 and 5.5. I always make sure that my shampoo has 5.5, the one that we develop and create. Okay, so then you have to think about how often you're shampooing. But we're gonna put a pin in that. So clean, acidic, stimulated. You don't want to use your nails, but you always want to get under the hair and smooth at the scalp. Now, if you have locks or braids, you want to go between that area and do a rotation, a pressure massage so that you can get into the area and slightly under that lock or braid. Okay, and then so you don't want to do like the pressure massage is like this, but you can do a sliding if you're under the hair, and then you work on top of the hair, smoothing the hair down. So you want that clean, acidic, stimulated. So this is how you would stimulate your scalp. Not you can do rubbing because when you're shampooing, the shampoo is really slick, so the hair, the scalp doesn't really make that much contact. But then you can also do the pressure massage as well, and you can do that when you have braids or locks, or if you just have a you're having issues with your scalp in general. Okay, all right, so you never scratch. That's the one thing, never scratch. Do not use a comb to lift your dandruff, none of that. Okay, remember, because scratching creates microscopic tears around the mouth of the follicle, lifting of the dandruff, which is what we did. My mom, I have to tell y'all, my mom, she would say, okay, I want to just lift my dandruff. And she would just literally go to sleep. And it would just be tons of flakes. But what we did not realize is that it was, it would always come back. And I had a client when I was back in the day when I was still styling hair. I had a client to say, okay, baby, not this week because it's still sore from last week. So get a clue. But I'll be ready next week for you to lift my dandruff. We didn't get a clue. We didn't understand. We didn't understand the scalp is skin. Okay. Hydrated environment. We want to make sure we don't do things that dry our scalp out. Okay, it's very crucially important. Do not dry your scalp out, and you don't have to worry about how are some of the ways that you dry your scalp out. And one of the things you don't have to worry about is itchy, flaky, tender, all those kind of things. Okay, overheated dryer, extended dryer times. That's real important. So you want to make sure sometimes you may need to oil your scalp while your hair is wet so that it will keep that seal in that moisture. Because when your skin, if you notice, when your skin is, when you finish cleansing your face, it's nice and soft. So you can actually get seal in with oil once your skin is it, when your hair is wet after you've towel dry blot your scalp. Okay, all right, so let's talk about the hair. And how do we get a protein and moisture? As I said, the delicate balance has to be there. You always want to deep condition. For optimum penetration, deep condition your hair, and your scalp will benefit as well. Okay, so finally, and we want to try to keep it a little bit over 10 minutes. But finally, what I want to talk to you about is something that we touched on last week, and that was relating to hair loss. There are two ways to lose hair, either from, because some people will say, my hair just won't grow. So there are two ways to lose hair. One way you can lose hair is through a process of breakage on a strand level. The other way you can lose hair is more with blockages around the mouth of the follicle or ingrown hairs, which generally causes a lot of itch. Okay, so now keep in mind that your scalp is skin, and you want to make sure that you keep that opening. This condition, whether it's breakage on a strand level, is called short hair syndrome. If it's density inconsistency on a scalp level, it's follicular epidermis alopecia. And you can have a virtual analysis so that I can confirm that. Now, the other internal follicular hair loss is relating to the hair, the follicle itself malfunctioning in its productive or reproductive stage, where you may, and it could be stemming from several things. It could be drug induced, which mean medication side effects. And that's why I always tell individuals, patients, make sure that you talk to your pharmacist about this drug induced hair loss and see if they can give you a medication that it does not have one of the side effects of hair loss. Also, it can be hormonal. There's a delicate balance there. And as men, if with men, you can have problems with um, the development or the miniaturization of that particular follicle. DHT can be around the follicle, the base of it, producing from your body. With women, it could be a imbalance of estrogen and testosterone levels, those changing as that estrogen levels drop. The testosterone levels may rise a little bit because men have more of testosterone, women have more of estrogen. So we have to know that as we get older, a little bit of that happens. Okay, all right. So that follicle can malfunction because of an imbalance, but an endocrinologist can help you with all of that. All right. So, and the next thing you want to think about is, how are, you've heard my hair just won't grow. Keep in mind that your hair can grow and will grow, but keep in mind that the only way it's going to obtain length, which is probably what's happening, is by making sure that you protect and preserve your strands. All right. I have a video on YouTube. You can type in, I have over 700 videos, but you can type in hair growth, or you can type up hair growth or hair breakage, or you can type in hair loss. And I go over all of that extensively, even on shampooing, choosing the right shampoo. All right, so I think we're out of time. I've gone almost 15 minutes. Can you believe it? Well, I'm trichologist Lisa Akbari, and this is our episode number 3, I think. Yes, it's exciting. And I'm your hair guru. And today I've been your hair guru. So thank you so much for joining, taking time out of your busy day. And we will see you next week. Get the questions coming. Come on, guys. I know that you find everything interesting and I appreciate, but I want you to get your questions in so I don't have to determine what you want to learn. So below, make sure you give me your questions. Again, I'm Trichologist Lisa Akbari, your hair guru. Have a blessed, wonderful, outstanding day. God bless you.